Tribe, just checking in with my weekly energy report. And well, hasn't it been an incredible weekend? How good was last week? I hope that you're really feeling the shift of energy that has happened. Going from that Scorpio into Sagittarius season was like pressure, kind of just relaxing for a moment, breathing, nice things coming in, lots of kind of physical manifestations, and just like a real lighter energy. So yeah, I really hope that you've been feeling that. And if you haven't, yes, it's definitely changing. And yes, you will catch up with the energy. Where I feel we're going this week is we're most definitely in a different energy than we have been. It's not so kind of deep and dark and transformational and kind of heavy. It's definitely a bit lighter and it's clearer. Like the vision of the future is clearer. We're becoming really aware now of what we desire, what we want, and it's all kind of coming together, which is amazing. But we have got still some challenging aspects, I feel, coming up. So it doesn't feel as heavy, but we can't relax and just, really fall into party season quite yet. This week we've got a new moon coming up, and I feel like it's going to open up a lot of opportunity, and we're going to have, these wonderful kind of clear energy of seeing what we desire. But what I want to remind you this week is that you have to put the work in, okay? So yes, we need to have a clear vision of what we want. Yes, we need to believe that that's possible, but we must do the physical work, okay? So, for an example, I've got kids that play a lot of sport, yeah? And, they used to say to me growing up, I want to be a professional this and I want to be a professional that. And I would say, well, you can have whatever you want, but you have to put the work in. Yes, you have to put the head work in and believe, but you also have to put the physical work in. If that's what you desire, then, you get up every morning and you train and you work at it. The two then meet. And so this week, I really want to remind you not to sit back, to put the work in. It's really important right now that we are working towards our goals. It's not enough to sit back and go, oh yeah, I'm just creating that and it's going to happen. We have to be actively, physically doing as well. We need to meet the universe halfway. The analogy I use a lot is you can't win the lottery without going and buying a ticket. But there's a certain point where the universe takes over. It's the same as anything, If we believe something and we're in alignment with it and we get our minds in the right space and then we physically meet the universe halfway, then creation happens. So this week, this new moon that's coming in, there's it could feel a little bit testing. All you need to do is put your head down and put some work in, and it's going to be amazing. Because what's being created right now is just incredible. And if you're not feeling yet that you've got there and things aren't aligning, just trust that it's happening, even if you can't see it. Okay, so what you've been asking for, what you'd like to change, if you've been putting in the work, just trust that that shifting is happening under the surface. And if changes have happened, I want you to really sit in the energy of those changes. In our weekly this week, I put, don't live in the memory of the past. Because quite often we create kind of as we desire with our thoughts and we kind of start living in what we want. But it takes a little while for our mind to catch up. So we may still be living in memories of our past, but actually our reality is what we desire, and it has shifted. but it takes a little bit more time for our mind and our thoughts to catch up with that. So just have a little think this week, you know, your mind chatter, where's it at? What's it saying to you? Are you living in a memory of your past? Are you a prisoner in that past? Or are you becoming a pioneer of your future? Are you actually really seeing where you're at and really acknowledging where you're at, appreciating more and moving forward? Have a little check-in with yourself on that this week. I also want to remind you, because the energy can be a little bit testing, to not compare yourself to anybody. Just remember that we are all on our individual journeys and we must not compare ourselves to anybody. It's so easy for us to, you know, if we're having a bit of a hard time or our journey hasn't been, you know, the easiest, to kind of look elsewhere, you know, look over there and go, it's easy for them. They have this, they have that, I don't have that. And in that comparing, we fall into the victim. And we can't be victims anymore. We just cannot, because when we go into that victim energy, everything drops and we can't create from victim space. It just isn't possible. So it's so important just to not look over there. Focus on your garden, focus on your grass, yeah? Because we don't know what's going on over there anyway. Yeah, but if we start looking and comparing ourselves, automatically we drop 99% of the time into victim energy, because, you know, it's not fair. And in there, we can't create what we want. It's like we chain ourselves. So this week, putting the work in and no comparison to anybody else, no comparing, just staying where you are, trusting your journey, remembering you are the creator, you can have whatever you want, put the work in. It's so important. Yeah, it's a good week. It's a really good week. You know, we're in Sagittarius season now. Scorpio's over. It's more fluid. It's a bit easier. Yes, we've got to work hard, but it's not with this kind of dark, gloomy energy, kind of heaviness over us, kind of pushing us. It's a lot lighter. So, yeah, it's going to be a good week if you stay on top, if you stay clear, if you put the work in, if you stay in your bubble, leave everybody else into their bubble. It's, you know, it's going to be a good week. As I said, we've got a new moon coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on where you are. So I will post around that, just a little bit more specific on what that's about. But it's very much this week, just, you know, keep working at it. Stay focused on where you're going. We've got 6 weeks left of this year, I think, 6 weeks, of this decade. And I feel like, you know, we come into December on the weekend. December, the energy is going to be a little bit full on, not heavy, that's not the right word. It's gonna go into a little bit more intense again. You know, it's December, it's busy, it's a festive season for many. We have an eclipse falling on Boxing Day. So, you know, it's going to go back into that kind of quite, you know, at the end of the year, you know, a little bit chaotic, wrap stuff up, get it all done. So we've got, you know, this week just to stay on top, do the work, and yeah, so when December comes in, we're not that kind of headless chicken. We're on top of our stuff. We know where we're going. We're clear. We're really grounded. Then it'll be a good week and it will be a good ending coming up. So I hope that you found that helpful. I will post through the week on different energies that I feel coming in. And if I feel the need, I will come in and check in with, you know, maybe some more video. I'll see how it goes. So have an amazing week, do the work, and I send you lots of love. And yeah, if I don't see you again through the week, I will come and check in next week.